Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of Sour Graps. I'm your host, Alex Pulaski, and it's Tuesday, so some things sucked, other things were cursed, some things were pretty good. Hey, it's Kate.
It's Tuesday, which means it's the NXT post show, the NXT Sour Graps post show for March 4th. Guys, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. We are mod free again. So be patient with us as we kind of work through all of this. But please do leave a thumbs up on this video. Please do also subscribe to this YouTube channel. We really appreciate it when y'all do that. But we are going to talk about NXT as we get ready for the Paul White of it all, Alex. We've got like the big show next week, but plenty on FightfulSelect.com as well. Hey, we need your help, guys. We need your help fighting back against the nerds who have to be really vocal about how they're not going to pay for wrestling news. So if you do have the $6 a month and you do appreciate the hard work of original reporting that is quarterbacked by Shawn and supported by Corey Brennan and a couple of other people, please do subscribe to Fightful Select. It really is how we pay our bills around here. And Shawn works really freaking hard to make sure that we all get paid. There's a staff of 40 of us here, and we're actually not paid by Tony Khan or Paul Levesque as people like to pretend. So pick a struggle, I guess is my point.
I would be a double agent. I would work for both of them.
Oh, absolutely. All of a sudden, like we'd be like, oh, the women's mid-card title on the main roster, fantastic.
Yeah, I would just say, you know, I would be Clint Eastwood from A Fistful of Dollars, working for both crime bosses, playing them against each other, seeing how much money I could make. I have no scruples. I mean, I do, lamentably, but I would get rid of them for the right price.
Famously, every man has a price, Alex.
Yeah.
So there you go. But head over to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe. You're not only going to get all the scoops. We had some good Jamie Hayter news that went up earlier. She's working on some visa issues. So that got confirmed by her own tweet earlier today. We've got all the scoops in the game. We got Shawn's Q&A. And you also are going to have me and this fella reviewing this absolutely stacked Revolution card. I'm excited for this pay-per-view. We had a pretty solid Elimination Chamber PLE, but like I'm looking at what we're getting week to week. Like we get a John Cena heel turn, and then the next week I'm getting Kenny Omega and Takeshita. Let's go. Like wrestling fans are eating well. Don't let the tribalism ruin you. Like this is good stuff. And then obviously in NXT world, we got a lot going on too. So yeah, lots happening on FightfulSelect.com, but you can get more of me and Alex. And since last week, so much has happened, including a new bit that we tapped into yesterday, which I'm sure will spill over here.
We've already
as bits do, but like there's just been a lot of developments since last Tuesday.
Hold on here. JW Pringle says, announcer voice. It's Kate Night with your host, Kate Elizabeth, featuring Alex in the Sour Tears with the Send Honk Horn section. Our guests tonight, Papa Paul Elizabeth, Linder, and the ghost of Luis.
I miss Luis.
Me too. He was the best of us.
He is. He still is. Alex, we said that this was an up and down episode, and there were parts of this episode that were just absolutely cursed. It's tough, man. Injury stuff especially is just really, really tough.
Yeah, it really is. We'll talk about that. It's part of the game. I won't do the it's not ballet because frankly ballet is also very hard on the human body. So, but I will say injuries happen. It is a contact sport and injuries happen, and you can't ever plan for them, and they suck.
Thank you for having respect for ballerinas, because injuries also happen in dance. But
yes.
you know, it's the bummer with injuries that happen when somebody's just getting their momentum going. Not that there's ever like an awesome time to get injured, but it just sucks. And now that's happened to poor core Jade like 3 times. So
Yeah,
that's brutal. But we've got a lot to talk about with this episode. And,
we definitely do. We saw people walking.
A lot of people walking this episode.
Entering places, exiting parking lots toward entering places. Shawn Spears and his group walking also in a delicious bit of synergy. Tony D'Angelo's group walking, and the Hardys hobbling. We saw everybody in a mode of self locomotion toward a place with a camera in their face. And our opening bout is Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus I'm going to call them the Zolarium. It's also dumb, but Sol Ruca, which means sun, and the Solarium is where you actually are in a thing where you get sun through. That's the room where their sun comes in through the thing.
Never knew that.
And then Zelta. So I was thinking Zolta, but that just seems like Zoltar. The Zoltar machine. I wish I were big. Yeah. No. I don't know. They don't have a team name yet. And
the Soul Crushers. I thought was good.
The I like Zol Crushers would be good.
Zol Crushers is really good.
Okay, we got Zol Crushers. Zol Crushers is good. But Zaria and Sol Ruca ain't gonna work for me for much longer. They have a really cool tandem entrance. And I like that they're not doing like, hey, happy-go-lucky surf music followed by I'm gonna kill you. Like I'm glad they're not doing that. I'm
gonna kill you.
That's pretty much the lyrics to hold on.
You're not wrong. It's
I'm
just
gonna go ahead and Google Zaria's theme song lyrics and send. Yep, I'm gonna kill you. The first refrain.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so I like that they're not doing that. That they picked one of them, and I love their tandem entrance where it's like Sol Ruca playing peekaboo. That's fun. So Kate, remember when they made the choice to put the first ever U.S. title on Chelsea Green, whom I adore?
Of course.
And I had a problem with that particular choice because I didn't think they'd be able to resist just making her look the worst possible. Like she'd be great doing all kinds of funny stuff, but anytime she's in the ring, she's gonna get pinned in non-title and tag matches. She's gonna feud with the same woman for 6 months. Like they're not gonna make it look like the women's mid-card title is prestigious in any way, even though Chelsea Green absolutely deserves a prestigious presentation. It's going to be all womp womp, but just that every time she does anything. And this was no different. She got to look really good in the match, and then they made sure she took the pinfall, which if Sol Ruca is getting a U.S. title match out of this on a SmackDown, I'm fine with. But if she's not, there's no reason. You just have Piper can get pinned. You don't have to pin. You never have. Trust me. You never have to pin a singles champion in a tag match. It's not a thing you have to do. Why? Because by the definition of a tag match, there's a different person who is teaming with the singles champion who can therefore get pinned. And I just feel like you should just go out of your way to make sure to do that every single time, if that's possible, because it devalues the title and the champion to have them take visual pinfalls we all see, even if they're not losing the title at the time. I just think. However, really fun match. All four women were great. Match. My only quibble is that you just keep making sure Chelsea Green is taking non-title pinfalls all the time.
The women's mid-card picture across all three brands is now very concerning to me because you have a title for title match coming up at this big MSG show. Feels like, despite what they said Like, we'll probably get some sort of non-finish, but there were also reports that Julia is banged up, not injured, but banged up. They might want to protect Julia. Like, they might want to be like, banged up doesn't fly for us. She's really important and one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, so we don't want to push it and just double strap up Steph.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes out of that. But I don't love immediately going to that well because we just haven't had this title around that long. And then on the main roster, finally, Lyra defends it against someone who's just lost so many matches in a row, as Shawn pointed out on Select yesterday. And we discussed in depth, and it took her forever to get to having a defense. And to your point here, Chelsea Green, while she's incredibly talented and so freaking funny, there's this thing in WWE where it seems like you can't be very funny and either competent at your job or constantly running away. Otis, great example of that yesterday. Phenomenal in-ring wrestler. That guy is consistently white hot with crowds. Super, super over. All he does is lose. With your singles champions, like, she has someone with her, right? Like, she has someone with her who's basically her heavy and Piper Niven. And normally I would be like, well, I don't want either of them losing because Piper shouldn't be taken. But Zaria's in the freaking ring. Like, she's also a monster. So, like,
also the role, the specific role that Piper Niven is playing for the U.S. champion is the chief member, the director of the Secret Service, whose job it is to take a bullet. It literally is her job to take the pinfalls. She should be, anytime there's a danger of her tag partner getting pinned, she throws herself involved. No, pin me instead. That should be her role.
It is the secret harvest, after all.
That's exactly the thing that she's supposed to do.
And the other thing is, she was dressed as the Mountie last week, and from my understanding, the Mountie always gets their man. Right. So, but like with this, even if the goal was to get to Chelsea or to have a rematch between the two of them, not only should Chelsea not be taking pins, she shouldn't, sure as hell shouldn't be doing that with great consistency.
Right.
And you're right, Piper's whole job is to take a bullet. And like, there's a way to do that without making Piper look like a chump when you have someone like Zaria in the ring. Like, Zaria is so impressive, and so is Sol Ruca, don't get me wrong. But like, when you're talking about trying to get out of the size disparity, strength disparity argument, like, Zaria is right there, right? So just disappointing, but also to what you said, the match was fun as hell outside of the weird booking with it. Like, this was really, really fun. It made me wish we had NXT tag belts around. Chelsea got busted open a little bit. It felt like she was I'm so used to when she has color on her face, seeing her be the hot mess. It was giving hot mess vibes. But the match was incredible. I'm with you as far as pinning singles champions, and I don't think we're getting a Sol Ruca Chelsea title shot, but I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they at least pay it off if they're gonna do that. But we have this generous chat from Tim McFowle who says, Luis is big timing us again. Hater taking food off your plates. It's tough times out here. It's hard times even. Could be worse. There could be a trade W, but hey, at least there's the SGS. I chose to watch X-Men 97 instead of NXT, but I'm here for KLX. Well, thank you for your generous chat and hanging out with us. And Jamie actually confirmed our report. So it's just always funny when people are like, LOL, cook that fraud SRS. And I was like, but the report was accurate. Like, I don't know what y'all are getting at. But my dad also sending in a chat saying, happy March to our SGS. Winter fades and baseball returns. This is the man that raised me. You see what we've got going on here? Oh, wrestling, everything sucks except for the Secretary of Wrestling, JW Pringle. Well, there you frickin' go.
Yes. One thing I want to notice, I don't think I've ever seen a Doomsday device involving a moonsault as the clothesline.
Holy hell.
That was pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Also, you know what is a trope that I really hate in wrestling, and I know it's wrestling, and so it's a trope, and so we just get past it, but not me. When you see a strong person in a match versus a big person in a match, and the first time they try and pick them up, they go, I can't do it. They're just too big. And you know for a fact they can do it because you've seen them do it to similar sized people before. And also, look at them. They're very strong. And then they do that 2 or 3 times and like, oh, nope, just too big. Can't do it. I'm so little and frail. And then they eventually do it. And when they eventually do it, it's like, yink. It's just like immediate. There's no, like when she tried to pick her up into a fireman's carry for Piper Niven, Zelta's like, oh, no, can't do it. Try to do like a German suplex. No, I can't. I just can't do it. Gravity is too difficult to combat. And then when it came time for her actually pick up Piper, it was like me picking up my 8-year-old daughter. It was like, that was not really that hard whatsoever. So my thought is either stop faking like you can't, or when you eventually do it, struggle a little bit and then go all the way.
That's
because
fair.
At least that's part of the overall story is she's far too big or he's far too big. I can't do it. My problem is also when I see people like John Cena, who I will always remember a match he had with Baron Corbin, where he tried to convince me that Baron Corbin was too big for him to AA. 275-pound Baron Corbin I've seen that dude AA the Big Show. Like, there's no chance that he can't AA Baron Corbin. So, like, pick your battles as to who you decide to lie to me about who is too big for you.
Fair.
Piper's very large, and any other woman, I would think it would be quite a struggle. But Zelta proved that it is not a struggle. Anytime she struggles to lift anybody, now we know she's bullshitting us because of how easy it was to lift Piper Niven when she finally did so.
I will say my other thing with that, and it's wrestling, right? So we get that. But I will also say, like, it doesn't get easier the later you get into a match, from my understanding either.
Maybe the adrenaline finally kicked in later, you know?
It was in her soul, and then it got out into her body. I'll buy that. Yeah. I'll buy that. Hey, Jam Beard.
Yeah.
Thank you for gifting some memberships here. How kind of you. That's very much appreciated.
That is awesome.
See, this is when I say we got to fight back against the nerds. You guys really show up, and I appreciate that so much.
Jambeard saying that Cena AA'd Big Show and Edge together. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, he probably AA'd literally all of Nexus at one point, like in one fell swoop.
Somehow he AA'd Michael Tarver twice at the same time. Like, he did it
to Brock.
He was destroying everybody.
I'm sure he did it to Brock at one point.
Yeah. So they got their victory.
But obviously he's a giant liar, so that actually lines up. Because I don't know if you heard, but John Cena turned heel this weekend.
It's debatable. Show me some evidence. So anyway, we saw them get the victory. Zelta and Soul, Team Zoltar, the Zol Crushers. We saw them get the victory here over Chelsea and Piper, former tag champs. I feel like Bianca and Naomi are busy now. So Liv and Raquel are going to need people to defend the titles against. Do you think they get a title shot straight up in NXT, or are they part of some multi-woman thing that happens at WrestleMania weekend, or what's the deal with this? Because obviously they're not doing anything singles-wise with Soul or Zelta right now. They're a tag team. So I hope they get a shot at gold coming in toward Mania weekend.
If I were Shawn Michaels, I would be rather frustrated, I feel like, with the fact that they took my women's tag titles away, depleted my women's roster, and then when I start to replenish it, we're still doing stuff like this kind of. But it would be really special and cool if they had do a tag match WrestleMania weekend with these women, because like I think it's always cool if you're actually going to build up a program for that, do that, because it's cool when you get to see sneak peeks of what's coming. They don't always execute it properly, but like, because Zaria takes, I mean, what, a millisecond to understand why she's such a megastar, and like, oh, you could just have her and Rhea Ripley pass in the hallway and look at each other at some point. Like, and so Ruca has like this very contradictory, but also very special energy. Like, show us that on the main roster, because I think it's really cool, and I also don't think the moment would be like too big for them. I think these two are like ready to go for something like that. I would rather that than like a non-title appearance on Stand and Deliver. I think it would be cooler if they were a part of like a 4-pack or whatever. But I would personally, I would really like that, because I feel like they're ready for sure.
Backstage, we got Jordan wanting a match with Roxanne, talking to Ava, and in comes Cora Jade, who says some not so kind, but unfortunately probably true statement about how if a woman from NXT won the Knockouts title, it would be the most important thing that's ever happened to that particular title. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks, but yeah. I mean, not if I want it in particular, says Cora Jade, but like, the truth of the matter is that's probably the most visibility that it would get in its history would be
for the title itself. That's not like, I wouldn't be like that's outright untrue, right?
Right. Yeah. So and then they're just arguing a lot about that. The day you win that title is the day I retire, says Jordan Grace. And please don't say declarative statements like that, because you never know with the way they book stuff. You never know with the way they book stuff. Don't have to walk that back, Jordan, please. Anyway, Ava's like, I can see where this is going, so you guys are going to settle this in the ring tonight. So let's talk about that right now. First of all, apparently Cora Jade is fine. She tweeted out that like, I'm all good. My knees are fine. Well, at least
thank God. Yeah.
At least decent, she says. I got rocked for a second, but my knees are okay. And that's good to hear. We will see what all comes of this, because she definitely did not think her knees were okay in the moment, because she was talking to the ref over and over again about her knees and all this kind of stuff. It's a head injury, so her knees are fine, but it's a head injury, which is never good. She was like
doing like this.
She was.
You know what I mean? So
she was also I wonder if I don't want to speculate, but she was wobbling a lot, and I wonder, this is a woman who has had a pretty catastrophic knee injury. And like, oh, I can't stand right. That must be my knees are going out, as opposed to I can't stand right because I have a concussion.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So if it's a head injury, that is also nothing to sneeze at, and should definitely be treated as a serious thing. But the Jordan Grace and Cora Jade match never really got off the ground. They went to commercial, and in picture. She kept trying to do a little like jump off the bottom rope stomp thing to Jordan Grace's midsection while she was laying down, and could not land it. Like, first her feet slipped off the bottom rope, then she hit the bottom rope and jumped up, but then her feet missed Jordan Grace. And then she was just kind of like walking weirdly around the ring, talking to the referee, and the referee was like, "Hey, Jordan, don't do anything while I talk to her." And then during the picture-in-picture, Jordan backed off. Cora went into the corner. The ref went and talked to her and threw up the X. And she kept like moving her, like grabbing her knee, not the one with the brace on it, the other one. So everyone was like, "Oh my God, can you imagine tearing a ligament in the good knee? Like, how cursed that would be." But I guess we'll say at least it wasn't some kind of terrible, catastrophic, year-long knee injury. But concussions are no joke. especially concussions that make your legs wobble. So, yeah, I'm glad that Cora Jade is all right. They're obviously they were advertising it during this match, March 14th, her versus Masha Slamovich, who is not the type of person you want to wrestle if you have a recent head injury, because she hits people really, really hard. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they're going to put that off or put somebody in her place, or if they're just going to go ahead and try and go with it. I mean, it's March 4th. She could pass concussion protocol by the 14th. So we'll see. But this match never really got off the ground, and it was a referee stoppage.
So I remember for some reason you and I were reviewing Mox and Hangman when Hangman over rotated.
Yes.
Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yes, I do.
And he just went straight out, and how terrifying that is to watch in real time. And I remember when we were talking about it, you were like, there are so many things that you and I don't take seriously ourselves. Names of things.
The number one thing we do not take seriously is ourselves.
There it is.
Yeah.
One thing we take extremely seriously is this aspect of things.
Yes.
And I remember you saying like the language around concussions being like, got my bell rung. When it's like, well, what does it really mean? Because that means your brain is injured from sloshing around in your head. And how there's so much more awareness and how good and important that is. But like how long we didn't take this seriously and how important it is that we do. And so when I reiterate the thing that you said of, I'm glad it's not her knee putting her out for another 9 months or whatever. That certainly doesn't mean like, oh, thank goodness it was only a brain injury or a concussion, or best case scenario, she just got the wind knocked out of her and she's okay. So, I certainly don't mean it like that, but you feel so bad for someone when like there's never a good time to get injured, but when you're picking up momentum, this has happened to Cora every time she's picked up momentum. Like she has this match with Masha Slamovich. She's got her legs out from under her from the last injury. She's been around the world title picture. And then this happens. Like it's just heartbreaking always when someone gets injured, but especially when it's like, they're obviously being heated up for something. And then those opportunities in wrestling don't come around all the time. Like, so my heart breaks for her. I hope for the best for her recovery of whatever it ends up being, and that she's able to get back on track as soon as possible. Kudos to the crew that handled it, because she was not right and they stopped the match and there was not anything. Jordan Grace didn't like play with it. She just kind of stood there and let things unfold. So good on them for taking it seriously and following through with what they should have done. But the chat did ask what the pun topic was, and I had suggested like witchy, spooky, cursed stuff because there were cursed things in this episode, and this was certainly one of them. Not to make light of her, but like the cursed nature of certain things on this show for sure.
But honestly, the pun topic should be Kate
sure,
Knight.
or late night puns.
Yeah, late night puns, late talk show puns. I'll expand it to talk show puns just in case you're not the kind of person who stays up late, or the only reason you do is to watch us talk about wrestling for 3 hours. So I'll expand it to talk show, daytime talk show, if you would like. That's also fine. So there you go. Talk show and late night puns will be the puns du jour. But so before we get to that one, because it was cursed for a while, insert clever Nix and Newell pun says Hex and Newell. So there you go. So but we're moving on past cursed puns now to late night and talk show puns. Tommy Light says late night puns or Kate night puns.
Bingo. Yes. Exactly what we're going for. Or grape night puns, right?
There you go. Exactly. So
Curse of the Cora Jade Scorpion. There you go.
Yes.
See, like this is what we're talking about.
We got back-to-back Ava in the middle segments, actually. because I fast forwarded to talk about the Jade and the Cora Jade and Jordan Grace match. So right after Cora, Jordan, and Ava, we went to commercial. We came back and we got Trick Williams in Ava's face about Eddie Thorp in a very heelish, let's just say, very much aggressively a dick to his manager. You know what I mean? Like the kind of thing that would definitely get you fired at Target. You know what I mean? You cannot talk to your boss like this on
These
the sales
guys
floor.
can't even run a Target, you know?
I'm just saying, you can't. If you work at Cold Stone and you talk to your boss like this in front of the customers, you do not get to stick around and make like it's, love it's, or gotta have it's. You got to get out. You're leaving. Pick up your
name sizes.
Pick up your paycheck at the end of the week because you're done. But he's fine. He's just yelling at her, and in come these two friggin' Chase U simps. I am so done with the Chase U simps. Like, just like, what are we remembering that is so great about it? It's been gone for months at this point. We have no idea. Thea Hale, we got an APB out on Thea Hale and Mousy Rosborn. We have no idea where they are. They released Duke at this point over a month ago, 6 weeks ago, since Duke got released. Unfortunately, his third thing that he put the release, by the way, almost as good as the first two, if not better. So just keep watching those.
Incredible,
he's so incredible. But these two simps come in and be like, "Hey, we heard you got a new office. We went down to Walmart in the stationery thing and got you some highlighters and this little thing that you can put on a magnet on your filing cabinet. And here you go. It's an office warming gift." And Trick's like, "Take your package and leave." It wasn't in a package. It was, I don't know why I kept calling it a package. It wasn't a package. It was just some stuff that they had picked up at the Walmart stationery aisle. I don't know why, but he was being very rude to them, overly aggressive. I have no love at all for the Chase U simps, for Kale, the worst leafy green, for urinary tract infection, whatever his name is. I don't want either of these guys on my screen ever. But that doesn't change the fact that Trick was being very rude to them.
He was being so rude.
So rude. So
I'll tell you this much, Alex.
Yeah.
I hope that package was delivered discreetly. You know what I mean?
Oh, you would hope so, yes.
You would hope so. You would hope the mailman would take care.
You would hope the mailman would deliver as more discreetly than Kale, the worst leafy green Dixon.
I think some people need help with their packages, and I know exactly the right partner to help.
BlueChew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code Fightful, and you will get BlueChew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what BlueChew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use BlueChew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code Fightful.
Alex,
yeah.
What if I told you didn't even need the code Fightful anymore?
You don't need it anymore.
It's even easier.
Yeah.
It's easier than ever to grab BlueChew.
I'm simply worried about them tracking how much business we send their way. Because I see BlueChew ads on television now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I want us to get the credit. I liked the code system. That's all I'm saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I liked the code system because at least we knew we were getting credit for all of the impotent mails we were sending to their website.
Well, they certainly all follow Shawn on Twitter, so I can say
All
that
of them.
much,
All
but
of them do.
I think we're probably just so valuable to them. They're like, we don't even need to track it because
Yeah.
obviously every Tuesday
Obviously, everybody.
we get this influx
Yeah.
of but
Yeah.
you know what? I just hope that Trick Williams would be a little bit kinder if he found out that someone was, maybe the mailman isn't so discreet that day, which he
Right, there you
normally would
go.
be, but like I'm just saying, maybe be a little nicer because there's no shame around this, okay?
No, right.
BlueChew.com.
He got way up in Kale the Worst Leafy Green's face and was like, I was very angry about everything. And they made a match for them later in the night, which happened right after the Jordan Grace and Cora Jade match, which was unfortunate because it was actually stopped due to ref stoppage, and then the next one was fake stopped due to ref stoppage. And I was like, you couldn't just have Trick pin him? Because Trick immediately upon the bell runs up and hits his trick shot knee, and then he gets on top of him and starts raining down forearms until the referee's like, no, he's knocked out, please stop, he's already dead. And then like you couldn't just have Trick hit the knee and then pin him like nonchalantly with a foot on the chest or something. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But like it didn't make sense to be like, okay, this was an actual ref stoppage, and they had lots of time, by the way, to be able to be like, hey, we just did a ref stoppage for realsies. We're not going to do a fake one. We're going to do a fake one right after that because that would look really bad. They had enough time to change it, and they chose not to change it, which I feel like they should have changed it.
I agree. The only thing I will say is like I think Kale and Uriah Connors are very like new. So maybe they didn't want to this could have been very rehearsed and they didn't want to change the ending because of something like that. Which I would understand. Like that's really disorienting if you were like, I've nailed exactly this, and then all of a sudden they're like, but we're gonna change the ending, and it's because we don't want to fake something that just happened in real life. You get like, I would imagine very in your head about something like that. But I'm trying to agree with you because it feels like it just doesn't it's not like it's wrong. It's something that happens in wrestling all the time and obviously unforeseen circumstances. So I don't mean to imply that, but it does feel like you're making fiction out of something that just factually
exactly.
That's very serious. So it's a little bit tricky in that regard. Little behind the scenes for y'all. I created a shared doc for me and Alex today because we don't have Louise, and the title of it is just "We Are Louise." But in the rundown, I just call him Leafy Dixon.
Leafy Dixon, yeah.
Because I would say like a big part of Alex's issue with these guys is just his hatred for Kale in general. But I don't think they've been presented in a context that's fair to them because I don't understand the loyalty to this Chase U thing. That
no, I mean, listen, I certainly have no love for Kale, the worst Leafy Green. But if this guy's name was Pepperoni Pizza Dixon, I would not like him being a simp for Chase U. You know what I mean? If he was Pepperoni Pizza, if he was Filet Mignon Dixon, I would hate it just as much. It's the simping for Chase U, really. You know what I mean?
I believe you, but I do have to think like if this was Meat Lovers Pizza, you wouldn't maybe go as hard. You wouldn't maybe go as hard, but they aren't being presented in a way that makes sense because they were not a focus of Chase U. So the fact that they're suddenly so in love with it after it's over, but not over, obviously, is a it's a presentation that doesn't really do them any favors. But kale is impossible. If you need a cruciferous vegetable, I would go with an iceberg lettuce. Like no offense to the wrestler. Right. But I'm with you on kale just being bitter and terrible. So vegan. That's the one thing I'm like, no.
You get Trick gets a microphone and calls out Eddie Thorp, and then Eddie Thorp says, "Hey, Trick, up here." And he's in the Raven's Nest up there, and he's like, man, it's been really tough for you since you're not the guy anymore, huh? Hasn't it? Oh, poor Trick. Hey, it should be me though. I should be that guy, and I can't be that guy until I get past you. So how about this? You and me in 2 weeks, on an otherwise nondescript episode of NXT because they're doing the roadblock thing next week. And then they're doing Stand and Deliver on the 19th of April. And in 2 weeks, they're doing nothing. So let's say we spice up that nothing episode with a match in NXT Underground, which I guess is why they wanted to do the referee stoppage thing for this match. So it would tie into that, which I get. However,
it's just so unfortunate. It just sucks. I get why they didn't change it. I would have gone for changing it, but it's not like I certainly understand why they followed through with it. But it's kind of weird because Trick is obviously a heel now, and Eddie Thorp is still a heel.
No, see, Trick isn't. He's not a heel.
He got very aggressive with two guys who just love a fake university.
But right now he's still a baby face. He's just really angry at all.
I get that.
At everything. Yeah, we're definitely very angry baby faces.
We are.
So he's in the phase of the baby face maybe turning heel where he believes he is right about the thing he's angry about and will not suffer any fools, will not enter into negotiations about whether or not he is right. So that's his whole thing is like, until I get my match with Eddie Thorp, everybody's going down. And like he's tweener-ish right now. We'll see if he tilts all the way full heel or if he goes back babyface after he's over the hump with Eddie Thorp. I still think the plan is Trick versus Oba one-on-one at Stand and Deliver. So I think
it feels like it has to be right.
But if Trick's around and they don't just do that match, I don't know why he's still around. I mean, we'll talk more about people who are still around, and I don't know why they are in a little bit. But Trick, if he's going to still be in NXT, you feel like you got to do the one-on-one match with him and Oba. They still haven't done that yet. So I think that you will probably see him still be kind of like with an edge to him.
On this day.
Right. He's not going to be so much about it. But he will be all about that action, boss.
Sure.
So I think once he gets Eddie Thorpe in his rearview mirror, then we might see him recede back into the waters of babyfacedom.
That's like the one thing they haven't done with Trick so far. So I don't hate that. See, this is why it's so helpful with the gals, because I'd be like, are they wearing black leather and black lipstick and with black acrylic nails? Yes. Okay. Very clear on the direction of things.
They've made a choice. Let's get some of these late night puns.
Hey, I'll kick us off because we got a humper chat.
Oh, good. Do that first.
Sure. We got Greg Cherry saying late night puns. Jimmy Fallon Henley. That's one Alex made before we went to air. I'll let you know the Whose House band. Swerve's House band. Very good.
Good.
Carpool Carrie Von Erich.
Nice.
Thank you to Notes musical guest referee.
That's good.
Very nice. Thank you, Greg. Greg's wonderful. He's so supportive.
Everett Smith says the road dog James Gordon. The badass Bill Maher. Gordon, what the badass Billy Gunn. There you go. The New Age Outlaws. Okay. The badass Billy Maher and the road dog James Gordon. There you go. James Gordon. Yep. I like this one, especially from Meet Normus. All Raws are last week tonight. Conan O'Daniel Bryan.
Very nice.
Max Friedman and the Big E Street Band. It's a view day. Yes, it is. Oprah Femi is S tier. And Dr. Phil Brooks. Jambeer says John Molliver, not John Moxley, not John Oliver. It's John Molliver. Man, John Moxley talking for 28 minutes about a very specific problem in our society with in front of a studio audience making really, really sophisticated and also lowbrow jokes. Now I need to see it.
John Moxley should have a British accent too.
If you are passionate about in the little glasses. if you are passionate about any specific thing, the ins and outs of local government that are tearing apart this country, I need to know. 28 form long form monologue. I need it. I need 28-minute long form monologue. Let's do it.
Okay, well, maybe some people just got a gimmick that is late night talk shows, and you don't have to go renting it out, Alex.
So your gimmick is very not John Oliver.
It is. It's just me saying, "Have you heard about this?" and then making a bad pun.
Yours is Jay Leno.
It is, and it's very like monologue specific.
Yes, very specific. Jambeard says Conanhausen.
Very nice.
Conanhausen. And that's where wait, I got one more of these. No. No. I got a joke though. I got a joke for Kate. What is soy milk if it's not just regular milk introducing itself in Spanish? That's good. That's very good. So Meat Norma says, I'm comparing store brand and Kraft mac and cheese, adding bacon to both. The winner is me. Shall we crank? I only saw the main event. How was NXT?
Up and down.
Yeah. Up and down. The first couple of matches were pretty good.
So what happened was we cranked. When you say let's crank, and then there were some things that like when you cranked, like you hit resistance and stuff like that. Like it didn't crank the way we wanted it to go.
We didn't crank all the way, so that's good.
Exactly.
Tom LaValle telling Tim that I got the TMNT collection for free on PS5. So
we have the best support ever.
I'm so happy for you, Tom LaValle. Got a lot of good games in that collection. So
I just love when people tell other people in the chat things through super chat.
Everett Smith says stupid Patrick Williams.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Very, very good. We got Jada Parker versus Kalani Jordan, and this was good. It was hard hitting. Kalani has turned a corner.
Yeah, big time.
She's had enough matches in a row where she's been this that I thought that okay, she's turned a corner now. And unfortunately, the way that they celebrated her turning a corner was by having her lose this match.
It's tough. This was a tough one because it felt like neither of them should fully lose.
Right. I agree, but they opened themselves up to a really good way of having the loss happen when instead of doing a running butt to the face, we did a running butt to the steel steps, which could really hurt your opportunities for doing more running butts. However, she then just went into the ring and did another running butt to the face. And I was like, I feel like this is like when guys like are selling the knee and then all of their offense is knee based after that. Shinsuke Nakamura used to piss me off about Shinsuke Nakamura matches. He'd be selling the knee and then just go off doing knee stuff and not actually sell his own offense, which would hurt himself doing that to people. And so, like, when your entire offense, when you're not like your entire offense, but a majority of your offense and also your finisher is butt based, and then you are selling the butt, I feel like you shouldn't be able to win with the butt. You should have to alter your strategy to make sure that you're not reliant so much on the butt and that you could also use other parts of your body to gain victory. I thought maybe we were going to get Kalani getting the victory because she was able to outsmart Jada Parker's butt.
Because the butt was compromised, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think you have a good point, especially about Shinsuke, but I think maybe you're underestimating, as a gal who does her squats, I think you're underestimating just how much punishment it takes to not be able to just like respond with your butt again.
Okay,
but
that's good.
I think the steel steps is a fair argument.
Because Jada Parker sold putting her own butt into the steel steps like she was hit with a sniper's bullet. I just figured that she would then sell that for the rest of the week as opposed to for the next minute. So that was
I mean,
my whole
considering
thing.
a package pile driver can put you out for the rest of your life or like a week and a half, it's a toss up. But
It does vary.
this
Yeah.
is really good. Like I'm so happy with the way that Kalani has settled in, it feels like, to her character, because it makes the matches so much more compelling when it feels like she's in the moment with her character. Like I think this heel turn has been really productive for her. And that hasn't always been the case. We've gotten some heel turns that are real random and weird and inorganic. And hers has been really, really good. Jada, faster than most people who haven't been doing this on the indies and then come here, NIL class, former athletes, whatever, really picked up on the pro wrestling aspect of doing this very quickly. Of the way she talks shit, the way the grit that she has, the intensity that she has. And we've been saying that for a while, but it continues to show up. And it's really refreshing because they're both kind of heels right now. Like, and I feel like Jada's intensity is a different type of intensity than Kalani's. So it didn't feel like, why are both of them facing each other? Like, this has been really, really productive. And I feel like these two are a part of a generation that they're going to be the ones kind of helping break away from the pack for a bit. So this was all really good. I didn't know who was going to win this, which was actually really refreshing, because sometimes this program could be predictable.
Honestly,
but
I was right there with you. I was like, oh, okay. That's how they're going to get Kelani the victory. And then she went up and she decided to do a 450 and landed on nothing and then got butt to the face. And so she lost. But again, I think she really has turned a corner. And this is the kind of Kelani that I want to see challenging for titles. Not the one that had the title before, this one. And so it is a little confounding that, like, I guess I'm just going to have to wait for her to get back to that point. I think the Jada Parker is excellent in the ring, and I'm really excited to watch her versus probably Stephanie. So, because she says I'll be waiting and watching to see who wins that match next week. So, like, we're probably getting to Jada Parker versus the winner of that thing somewhere on the road to stand and deliver.
I miss Pretty Deadly so much. But you know what, Alex?
What's that?
Sometimes when you don't know the outcome of something, you just got to throw a couple buckaroos down on what your gut would say. You know what I mean? And you're probably thinking, but Kate, it's wrestling. You can't just bet on wrestling. That's ridiculous.
No.
Psych! You sure can. And you can do it BetOnline.ag.
I want to talk to you guys about our great partner at BetOnline AG. Yes, the place that lets you bet on pro wrestling. We've gotten our pro wrestling betting odds from them for years, well before we even worked with them. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about them. They got the earliest lines, the fastest payout, the industry best bonuses. They've been trusted for 25 plus years because of their safe and secure environment and their quick payouts. But you can bet on pro wrestling. How cool is that? If you think you know more than anybody, go ahead and look at those odds. It's the same ones you've seen on Fightful for years. You might see one that sticks out to you and you go, wait a second, there's no way that person's going to win. Why are they an underdog? Make yourself some money. BetOnline AG. And hey, it doesn't stop there. Whatever sports you want, they got you covered. Popular games like blackjack and roulette, Supernova, Skyward, all that stuff. BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can at BetOnline AG.
It's just nice to know, Alex, that not all the background music to certain things changes all willy-nilly, like our StreamYard intro.
I know.
Which doesn't feel great.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that one's not probably going to change unless Shawn records a new intro.
Don't even speak it into the world.
Okay, cool. Hey, Kelly Kincaid is back. I believe she went off for maternity leave, and she's back. She looks great. Good for her.
Happy to have her back. She's great at this. So,
and she interviews Tony D, who says there's only one family in NXT, and it's the D'Angelo family. Also, there's this thing about there was some stuff tonight when we get to the main event that still leaves me going, Because he was like, hey, Sticks, rightfully so. Maybe has a few doubts about my back injury and going out there tonight defending the title. And he's right. He's the underboss. You know, if I wasn't here, he'd be the one in charge. He'd be the one to make decisions. But I am here, and I am going out there, and I'm going to beat Shawn Spears. And we got a little bit of intrigue of, like, you know, maybe the underboss wants to be making more decisions. Maybe the underboss would like to be not under the boss. Maybe he wants to be the bossy boss.
The overboss?
That would be like the boss's boss. That'd be like the CEO. Does he want to be Mercedes Moné?
Who doesn't?
I know.
I couldn't blame him.
I
also really liked with this.
Mercedes Moné. There you go.
I really liked with this too. He like welcomes Kelly Kincaid back, and he says, "I was told by my mother, if you don't have something nice to say about a woman, don't say it." And he was like, so I'm not going to say anything about Izzy Dame. And I was like, I need to know who Tony D'Angelo's mother is on screen so bad now.
I think our friends at the CW network would be none too pleased about the words I would choose to describe Izzy Dame.
What a
by the way,
respectful mob boss. I respect that from Tony D.
So here's the deal. They are doing some Scorsese picture about organized crime in Hawaii. And obviously that's the one that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in. He's playing the Hawaiian mob boss, but there's an Italian mob boss who shows up. I believe that's DiCaprio. Like Tony D should have an audition to be part of DiCaprio's squad, who just walks around back. You give him 5-6 lines, let him get shot by Dwayne. Like it could be a lot of fun. I think he should. I want him to be in Scorsese movies before Scorsese retires or dies. I need Tony D'Angelo to be in a Scorsese movie.
He should take out Leonardo DiCaprio for real and just have that part. That's how I feel.
MDR says, I need that voice the whole show. Alex, welcome to fall of 2021. When Tony D'Angelo was debuting, I used to do this voice the entire freaking show. There was one Halloween where I went as Tony D'Angelo, and it was this voice for 2.5 hours.
Do you remember my wheel?
I do remember your wheel.
We did a little Tony D'Angelo wheel of impression thing.
Yeah.
And also because of the gabagool,
yeah,
I wore meat on my face on a mask.
So there was one night that I was Tony D'Angelo, and then the following, because I bought the hat. I bought a fedora, and I'm not a fedora guy in normal life, so I had to get double usage out of it because it cost me like 15 clams. So then one year I was Tony D'Angelo, and then the following year I wore a skeleton mask with the hat on top, and I was Boney D'Angelo. Because, you know me and puns, it's the way it works.
Alex, I had come back from the Jericho cruise like hours beforehand, and I drove to Target to buy deli meat and a hot glue gun. And I hot glued gabagool to
hot glue deli meat to a wooden stick.
That's that is a day in the life of this podcast. Mm-hmm. But I will also say Party City is under. So like when we do bits, we're gonna have to get really creative. Like Dollar Tree is gonna be, I'm gonna be digging in deep, because that was my go-to, man.
Jam Beard says, since WWE is all about the celebs right now, bring in Edie Falco, aka Carmela from The Sopranos, to be Tony's mother.
Edie Falco as Tony D's mom, who taught him about not saying mean things about ladies. My God.
And the best part about it is that she gets to still call him Tony.
Yeah.
She has that perfect way of pronouncing Tony. And she gets to still use that name. It's great. You know what I mean?
Well done. Hey, you want to talk about some fun facts real quick?
Sure.
Jam Beard said, so I just learned this. Apparently, Zaria's theme is the same theme Killer Cross used in TNA. Didn't know it. That's a fun fact.
So wait, you can get themes from elsewhere to be used in WWE. They can just license those things. WWE can license good songs to be people's themes from elsewhere. They don't have to produce terrible ones in house. They can get them elsewhere.
Zaria was probably like, man, you know I'm coming from Australia, right? They've got some really cool music over there. I can't get that rippled. Also, Jam Beard saying this just in, I got a dozen eggs for $5. And I would say tell everyone there, but I feel like you should keep that a secret so you can keep getting them.
Yeah, no, yeah. Make sure you can.
But congratulations.
Because the cheapest I can get them is for $6 here, but they have a
$9.89 at my local supermarkets.
Get out of Jersey. But like
I'm vegan, it doesn't matter.
I don't. But I'm just saying. But on general principle, get out of Jersey. But like $6 is the cheapest I can get them here. But they have a limit 2 dozen, and I mean like that would be a lot of coming back in with fake mustaches and like wearing different clothes and stuff.
You just send your daughter up with 2 dozen eggs.
That's right.
Here's $20.
Okay. We get you weren't here. You were or you couldn't watch NXT. You reviewed the show with me, but it was when they did a press conference for some other one of these things where it was like the press conference for I don't know,
it was the press conference
or
that went through the whole show, was it?
Yeah. And that was they cut down on the number of these things they did, but they did 2 main ones. Where the first time we just kept cutting in to showing people who were talking to the press. And then they had a couple of times where we actually heard them talk, and then they went to the ring live for like the Julia versus Roxanne. I think maybe it was the press conference for the CW premiere. I think that's what that was.
Could have been. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So anyway, we get Oba. And I always love to watch Oba talk. That's great. You know what though? Like, if you're gonna, these are supposed to be members of the press, and what could we hire some actors who don't make it sound like we're in the middle of remedial English class in like a 7th grade, and they're like, we're reading chapter 12 of Great Expectations. Oba Femi, you have been a great champion, but what will it be like to face a champion from another promotion? Can we not get some people who like don't feel like they're, come on, like that? This is a person who should be a professional at this, who asked the questions. Both of the questions he got, the one who asked the question of Moose was marginally better. Both people who asked Oba Femi a question looked like they were not familiar, not only with the question that they were asking, but words in general. That's what they sounded like. Can we not get some people who can read off a script in a way that sounds conversational, or like a professional reporter asking a question at a press conference? Come on.
It was giving spelling bee a little bit, for sure. We had a short-lived bit on here where I just kept saying, "Hi, Kate from Fightful." Was it because of that press conference?
I believe it was, yes.
Bro, I laid the blueprint down, bro.
Yeah, you did.
That might have been after, because I got to ask CSJ a question. Yeah. I think we were just marking out about that together.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy. Oba's so great at this whole just naturally being a badass thing that like I don't.
He's the ruler, man.
I both think there's no way they could screw this up, and I'm so scared they're gonna screw it up. You know what I mean? Like he's undeniable, and I'm just so afraid they're gonna deny him in some way with stuff, because
they've raised him perfectly so far. So I feel like his whole North American title reign was pretty great. This has all been really good. Like I'm less nervous about that because they keep proving to us that they know what they have in him as time goes on.
Yeah.
I certainly don't think he's in danger of losing to Moose, but what do I know? So I think that it's almost just like a matter of what do they want to do because they have lightning in a bottle, right? Of like, do they want him to shock, lose it, and then win it back because he beat the ever living dog crap out of the guy that beat him? Yeah. Do they want him to go to the main roster by SummerSlam? Like, not knowing what their ideas are is kind of the only thing that I'm nervous about, because I feel like I'm going to react to something and they're going to be like, well, no, it's because we're doing X, Y, and Z. And we want him to be a 6-time champion before he goes up. So we have these intermittent things or whatever. Yeah. But I do, he is so great. He's so natural. He passes every test they give him with flying colors, meaning like ring psychology, triple threats, what it's like to beat two stooges, what it's like to beat a guy that's your own size, like what it's like to talk it in ring promo, what it's like to talk with one sentence backstage, what these weird presser things are. Like, he knocks them all out of the park, and that's crazy for any wrestler to be able to do, but especially one that's this new at this. He's it, man. He's got everything you need from someone, and I just look forward to getting to see him grow and grow and grow. And I would rather, like, they just are not good with the NXT handoff to the main roster thing. I'm more worried about that than I am like, what does his title reign look like? I'm like, you have to be, with a guy like him, so intentional with what you choose to do for him. This cannot be, he was waffling around for a little bit on the main roster, but then he found his footing like Braun Breaker or whatever. Like, he has to have every rep matter, because it's not like, oh, we unlocked this thing and he's going to spear everyone and he's going to be a badass tweener like with Braun. Like, found his footing. This guy, we already know what we're getting. Like, he's, we've, the secret sauce is there's extra of it on the side. It's a delicious meal. Everything's great. Right. So I think it's more, they've been so good about being intentional thus far that I'm like, that has to continue the rest of his career.
I think he needs to be a called up, wins a title on his first day type of guy. Like, that's how you introduce him.
He should be John Cena. Just do it.
That's definitely not the story that they're going to go with.
But I want it.
I know you do. Here would be my preference, because I don't want the first thing that's going to happen, and I definitely don't want the second thing that is going to happen. But if those two things happen, then the thing that I want is Jey Uso is going to beat Gunther, and the guy who's going to beat Jey Uso is going to be Logan Paul. I see that in the future. It's a horrible future. I wish I could not see through time, but sometimes sometimes the power is more of a curse than it is a blessing. I do believe that Logan Paul will beat Jey Uso. Logan Paul comes out to cut a promo, his first Raw or SmackDown as the champion, gloating, "There's nobody in the back who can even touch me. I'm the great Logan Paul." And Oba Femi makes his debut and literally puts Logan Paul through the damn ring. And then Logan Paul is literally running from Oba Femi over and over again. Like, he sees him around corners, and eventually, like, he can't run away from him. He has a match against Oba Femi, and Oba Femi murders Logan Paul. And then the fourth thing, which definitely won't happen. The third thing might happen. Please, please, please. The fourth thing won't. I'm not lucky enough. But that's the last time we ever see Logan Paul. Would be Oba Femi kills him forever.
I would also be rooting for that.
So we also got Moose later. I'll talk about that now. Moose answering a question about, how he's going to beat Oba, because Oba's a really great champ and very young, and because he's so young and inexperienced, I'm going to beat him. And
sure, obviously with great ring psychology is the answer.
Because that man is basically the Sigmund Freud of wrestling. He is such a fantastic clinical psychologist when it comes to wrestling.
Has his PhD and everything.
He's got his PhD in ring psychology. He went back and got his doctorate. Like that's like you got to go through
That's
college and then you got
commitment.
your master's, then you got to go back and get your doctorate
Commitment.
in ring psychology. Like I like respect.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just don't like the press conferences as a whole, but also that Ava steps in and be like, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and give you an update because after the Cora Jade and Jordan thing happened, we got Jordan Grace backstage having been attacked with a chair by Roxanne, and I just screamed into the Discord, "Why the hell is she still here?" She was just in the elimination chamber. That's okay. That's like competing in the MLB All-Star game and then going back to AAA on Monday. Why? You're up. You're in the big dance. You're up there now. You're the absolute cream of the crop. You are by definition one of the 6 best women they have on the roster who is not currently a champion. Just why would give me a kayfabe reason why she would be back in NXT? I understand that the actual reason is because they honestly don't have anything for her for Mania, so they're going to do something with her for the time being down there for Stand and Deliver and stuff, probably. So like that's probably the deal. But
then why are we continuing the Bailey stuff? Because they are.
Are they?
I mean, they eliminated each other in Elimination Chamber, and they're still talking shit online.
Well, no, Bailey. Well, I think Roxanne. Did Roxanne eliminate Bailey? No, Roxanne did not eliminate Bailey, and Roxanne was eliminated by Alexa Bliss. We were talking about this, that Roxanne should have eliminated Bailey, but she did not. So they're still talking crap online. I mean, people just do that. So I would hope that they would do that, but like I don't know. That could play out on Saturday night's main event. So I don't know what they're doing with any of this. But Roxanne
definitely
deserves to be on the main roster full time now. Please, thank you.
Yeah, she's listed internally as a Raw talent, so I feel like she should go beyond that. And the other thing is, it's like it's not like NXT is hurting for women's talent right now. Yeah. But I would rather her have a marquee match on Stand and Deliver than be in the what do you call it, the Andrea the Giant Battle Royal, the women's women's battle royal.
The women's Andre, which and the prize for winning it is a gigantic statue of Andre the Giant in a wig.
There it is. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So we are getting Jordan Grace versus Cora Jade next week.
Assuming she's okay. Yeah.
No, not Cora Jade. No.
Rox.
Jordan Grace versus Roxanne next week. Sorry.
Nailed it.
We're getting them next week on the big Madison Square Garden theater show. Because they always make sure to say that, but it's almost like they're trying to speed past it. So
the Madison Square Garden theater.
It does feel like that.
Hey Alex, have you heard of this Madison Square Garden? This MSG?
Hold on. Wait. I'll you do that in 1 second, okay? Hold on.
Okay.
Now, say that again.
Hey Alex.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this Madison Square Garden?
World's most famous arena. Yes.
It sure is, but it should be called Madison Round Garden. It's not even a square.
Ironic architecture.
It is. Hoo-hoo. Pow-pow. Madison Round Garden.
Bump, bump, bah. I don't know if anybody else thinks this is funny but us, but I don't care. Oh boy. So the Hardys are. Oh no, we lost Kate. Why do we lose Kate? Kate, no, Kate, come back. Kate. Oh, we lost Kate. Audio crashed. 1 sec. Her audio crashed, everybody. Kate's audio crashed. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, she'll be back, I guess. Hey, the Hardys are here. The Hardys are here to cut a promo about just how great it is to be back. And wow, all the energy from all those youthful types in the locker room. It's so infectious. It's so positive. What a wonderful thing to be around. All the energy that's so great in the locker room here in NXT. Say the Hardys. And then they're interviewed by they're interviewed. They're not interviewed. They are interrupted by Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank got booed like they were Dom Mysterio from 2024. Like I don't know why. Were we booing them because they were involved? They were not being antagonistic toward the Hardys. They just interrupted them. Like, that's not something that you need to boo for. Why are we booing them? I don't understand why we're booing them. They just wanted to, they came in like, we have such respect for you guys. We just want some advice for, from Kate's back. Kate's back. I cannot hear you. Well, now wait, hold on, say it again.
Hello?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it sound like it's coming through my headphones or
It
through
does.
my camera?
It sounds like you're coming through your headphones or camera.
Come on, man. All right, well, it's better than nothing. We'll roll with it for the rest.
Well, let's roll with it. Let's roll with the punches. That's what we're gonna do. Hey, Kate. Did it seem odd to you that the local crowd at NXT really hated Hank and Tank?
They really did. I think they just hate everybody that's not for Axiom now.
No, but they hated Fraxium they hated what he's not the Hardys.
That's true.
They just wanted the Hardys to stand around in the ring and say how there's so much energy. Yeah, we're so excited to be here. Like Will Chisholm says, the fans love the Hardys. That's why, I believe. Yeah, I get it. But it wasn't like Hank and Tank came out and said, shut up, you old timers. You don't even go here. Why, you're so old that I can hear your joints creaking from here. You wouldn't stand a chance with a team in the prime of their careers like me and Tankster here. Like, they're not doing that. They're just coming out saying, we respect you guys. We want some advice. How do we get to be where you are? What's the first step? Since we're so young, we want to be where you guys are now. When we're your age, how can we help? And like, oh, you guys are doing great already. And the crowd's like, no, shut up. We don't like them because they're talking and you're not. And I just felt like that was weird.
It was, but like, I know last week we kind of said the reasons we weren't super excited for the Hardys. But I think we also acknowledged there's a tremendous upside into doing these programs with the Hardys while they're there. And one of them is because they are extremely over. Conventions, live crowd reactions, they are super, super over. And I think unlike some nostalgia acts, I think it becomes more about the nostalgia than the younger talent. And I don't think that's the case here. I think it's going to do wonders for these talent to work with the Hardys, not because of the in-ring, but because of that. People are just really excited about the Hardys, I think.
We'll see if Fraxium loses to the Hardy Boys clean next week, because that might change a lot of my goodwill toward all of this. But for now, Hank and Tank get interrupted by Team Double Vest. That's the actual Double Vest, and also Inamura wearing a WW logo tee. I understand that he doesn't have his own merch yet, but that is the most generic. It's not even
he spilled something before he went out and then threw this on. They just had it backstage.
That's not even branded NXT merch. That's WWE Corporation merch.
Then now forever t-shirt.
Yeah. But they say that Hank and Tank shouldn't be up there because we're better than you guys. And Hank and Tank earlier talking to the Hardys were like, you need to go to extremes. Extremes? Did I hear tables, ladders, and chairs? No, says Jeff Hardy. You don't have to do tables, ladders, and chairs. You just have to be more extreme in your thinking. Take more risks. Do things like and like the fact that they kept saying it a couple of times means they're definitely doing a tables, ladders, and chairs tag match at Stand and Deliver or soon. Maybe that's one to decide who faces Fraxium, faces the Blurry Boys. I don't know. But anyway, there's a brawl between Team Double Vest and the Hanker Tankers, and
sure.
Then we get Matt Hardy saying, "Fraxium, I knew you'd come," which is just like, it's fine. It's fine. But he's not that version of Matt Hardy anymore, so he's just like playing the hits from 10 years ago. Kind of thing, like,
well, they kind of did that the last time they were here too, right? Like he was doing the delete stuff, but he wasn't fully unhinged. So I
mean, it's fine. It's just like, anyway. They talk to each other about who's going to beat the other one. Spoiler alert, each team thinks they will beat the other.
Which is crazy.
I know, you would never think that. That's so against type, but this was fine, and I'm sure the match will be entertaining. And I'm team old guys should never win. So I'm just hoping that we figure out a way to protect the hell out of the Blurry Boys in any possible way we can, so they don't take a clean loss to the Hardys here. Just
does make me a little nervous. This one, because Fraxium is so quick in the ring. But it's going to be a bunch of fun. It's going to be so much, like, the crowd's going to be electric for it. Fraxium doesn't know how to put on bad matches. Like if somebody tried to teach you, they couldn't. But
Will Chisholm says Jeff is like Bo, not like that, not that. Look how we are walking. Bo?
I think probably bro, not like that.
Bro, not that.
I don't want to do a TLC match. Look at the way we're walking around right now.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Now I get it. Yeah, don't do the thing to no. I was 22 years old diving off of 35-foot ladders.
Yeah.
I wake up in excruciating pain literally every day.
How about
Please
just
don't
like
do
a
that to yourself.
gentleman's handshake and a nice clean wrestling match? I don't need to be so extreme. How about a mild match? Like, if this is wings.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, oh, can I get a honey barbecue instead of a hot sauce? Like, they're just Jeff Hardy's like, I'm good.
Yeah. How about no TLC? How about an MBC? Mattresses and bouncy castles. Mattresses and bouncy castles.
Love it.
That is if I had to do it all over again, I would not have invented the TLC match. I would have invented the MBC match. Mattresses and bouncy castles. That's it. That's the way to do it.
In my head, everybody still sets up those matches like they're super violent, though. Like, I challenge you to a mattresses and bouncy castles match.
Yeah. We want mattresses. Clap, 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 clap. So
get the mattresses.
Yeah. There's a very good little vignette hyping up Julia and Stephanie. So what we have heard, has Shawn confirmed this? But the thing that has been heard about how one of them is hurt and needs to go away for a while to get something taken care of, and so that's why they're doing this.
So I don't believe Shawn's confirmed anything around this. The last I'd heard was Julia was banged up, but not like injured. Like, this match is definitely happening. Which, like, maybe they want to keep it from getting worse, and so they want Steph to just be double champ and Julia could win it back or whatever, or they'll do a non-finish like we initially thought. But I don't think Fightful Select confirmed everything. But we put a lot of news up there. Like, there's literally so much news on Fightful Select that I can't keep up with it all. So, but I don't think there was anything that Shawn confirmed.
That would make sense to me why we are doing this, and very other things would make sense to me why we are doing a title for title.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, considering they're also now keeping Jordynne Grace very busy with another thing. My thought had been Jordynne Grace gets involved, puts both of these women through tables or something, and that's how we get a triple threat out of this, even though that's not what I want either. I want each of these women to have their own challenger, because there are two titles. They are both very important because they are titles. And so each woman should have a challenger for it. Like Jimmy Fallon Henley interrupted Ava and being like, hey, so why does everybody get a title match except for me? Where's my contractual rematch for the North American Championship? And Ava just leaves. She just walks out. That's not very professional.
It's not, but like relatable. You know what I mean? There's been many a day at jobs that I've had where I've just been like,
right, exactly, totally
enough with all this responsibility.
Mm-hmm. But I did like the vignette with Stephanie and Julia. It's going to be an amazing match. It's going to be an amazing match.
Yes,
it's very possible it's the women's match of the year in WWE. It's very possible it's a women's match of the year across all of wrestling. And I still have no idea why it's happening with this as the stipulation. I don't want either woman to be holding up two titles at the end of this thing. They're both great. You just made Stephanie literally just made her the champion. And relatively speaking, you pretty much just made Julia the champion. So, like, why? I don't know why we'd be so hasty to take the title off of either one of them and put it on the other one. So we'll figure it out.
It's funny because I don't want either of them to lose, and I also don't want an F finish. Like, I don't want a non-finish with that either. But if they just want to give Julia some time off for her to be fresh, that gives Steph an opportunity that she wouldn't have otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always get the opportunity to do something like this.
No,
so that I would understand.
Like, if this is a response to a thing they have to deal with, like, I would much rather it be this than we're stripping Julia of the title.
Agreed. Especially if she can go but is beat up. You know what I mean?
Right. Like this is something you're going to take care of. You're going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, but you might not be really, really ready to go by Stand and Deliver. So we don't want to risk that. So we're going to start a whole new, like, maybe if this was May or June, they just figure it out. But because Stand and Deliver is coming up, they want to make sure they have all their ducks in a row for all the Duck Hudsons in a row, for how they're gonna figure out what they're gonna do for that show. And I get that part. I get that, Chuck.
Who was the last double champ booked well? I'll wait. I honestly don't remember anything about Becky's double reign.
Oh, yes, you do.
Do I?
Yes, you do. She's the double champ. Guess who she's feuding with first, right after that?
Was it Charlotte?
No.
Was it Ronda?
Lacey Evans.
Was that the first thing?
That was the first thing she did after she won the title.
Was that when Lacey Evans was with Ric Flair too?
That was when no, that was later. That was the following year. No, this was when Lacey and Baron Corbin, Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin were a thing, and they had a duo. They were a duo, and they had a mixed tag match with Seth and Becky versus Lacey Evans.
Oh,
and
that
Baron
was the
Corbin.
Man's Man T-shirt cringe.
Yep, that's what that was. And then Lacey Evans, like, it was a Charlotte, and Charlotte cashed in on her. She cashed in on her, or whatever. Lacey cost the first title of Becky. Becky was only a double champ for a couple of months.
That I remember.
Charlotte was the champion at that point. She won it off of that. I think that's what it was. I think it was like Lacey cost Becky in a cash in by Charlotte. I think that's what it was.
I I was live.
That's right. She faced Lacey and Charlotte at the same time at Money in the Bank, where she beat Lacey and then lost to Charlotte because Charlotte cashed in on her.
I went to I think it was a Raw taping during that angle, and there were two things I noticed. One, I was like, Lacey Evans, she was like, we were behind the barricade.
Now I'm remembering. Becky had to face two different women on the same night. First Lacey, she beat her. Then she faced Charlotte, and Charlotte beat her. But then Bayley cashed in on Charlotte after that. That was when they were doing the thing where women could only hold the title for a maximum of 24 hours. A maximum of 24 hours. They had to cash in the next night on Raw or during the same Money in the Bank PLE. Wow.
So during that, I remember I was with a friend of mine. We were at the Raw taping, and I looked at Lacey. Lacey was faced backwards to us, and I looked at her, and I was like, every muscle in her back is developed. It is insane. Mm-hmm. I think that was she had that one really good match with Natalya. I think probably Lacey's best match ever was like a last woman standing match. It was around that same time, I think. But anyway, that was nuts. And my friend and I were both like, but like Baron Corbin? Like, the whole time we were just so confused about what that alliance was.
Yeah. Yeah, Bayley was also a tag and SmackDown champ. It's true, but like dual singles champs has almost never been done right by WWE.
Yeah, it's tough because it's never actually good for the product because you don't want all your gold centralized to that.
You shouldn't want that. Yeah, no.
So like you have to have someone. They have to drop one of the titles pretty quickly, which takes the sting out of the build. But I mean, Becky was the hottest thing in wrestling. In all of wrestling at that time. So it was the right call in that sense, I think.
Yeah. There was a vignette recapping the Shawn Spears and Tony D'Angelo rivalry. And then we got Ethan Page and Javon Evans in a split screen interview, which was decent, but provided not a lot of really new information. It was kind of a rehash of making sure we know why Ethan Page hates Javon Evans, and
it was like go homey. It was like a go home segment. Yeah.
Again, I really thought we were going to do Vengeance Day, Stand and Deliver, with nothing in between, and that was going to be the end of the feud. Doing it now, because they're doing a street fight next week. Makes me go, oh, is that over already? Or are we figuring out a way to extend it to another match, Stand and Deliver? This is a big show. It's cool that they're doing they're doing this thing there. Well, it is a large event. So this is a very large event.
Large event.
Well,
the large event now.
Well, it's the larger than normal happening. Yeah, I guess we'll see where this goes after. I think that they're gonna beat each other up pretty good, but I don't know if we're like are we trying to get one of these two guys into a different program by Stand and Deliver, or is this their big match for the spring? Because they don't have 12 matches on the Stand and Deliver card. You know what I mean? Like maybe this is their big match for the spring.
I do wonder like where Wes Lee fits into things, but other than that, they might want to run this back one more time. It's been really good.
Yeah,
and they're two of the top title adjacent talents that they have there. So I wouldn't hate it. They just have to go about it in the right way because the layout. Not that I know anything about ring psychology, but the layout of that first match was like pretty perfect, and the ending was brilliant. So I just want them to, if it's a trilogy, the chapters need to evolve from the previous ones. Right. But I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah. So we've already talked about everything else that happened after this, except for Ricky Saints walking backstage, talks to Ridge Holland. He's like, "I know who you are. I'm not impressed. What a big win you had last week. Big giant win you had. I'm not impressed. I don't care.
Sure.
Taking lessons from Pete Dunne and not caring. I'm pretty good at it. And Ricky's like, man, everybody is so angry about everything. And then he walks up and he sees Shawn Spears. And they don't necessarily do an hello, former AEW wrestler. Like they don't do one of those things like they did with Cody and Ethan.
It's not
and,
the Spider-Man
Nexus
meme.
King.
Yeah.
It's not one of those. So that's nice. But it's at least they're like reminding us that Ricky Saints is alive.
Yeah, I think they are like, he's a top talent. We should have his presence on the show every week in some way.
Right. But there's a better way of doing that than this. Wandering backstage, happening to cross paths with Ridge Holland and then Shawn Spears. Except for if they're doing what I hope they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is we're getting Ricky strapped up with the North American title at Stand and Deliver. So that's what I hope they're doing.
So
there were 4 gentlemen who were very conspicuous by their absence on this particular show, Kate. 2 rookies, a bookworm, and a guy who doesn't know how sleeves work. Maybe they're just trying to lull us into a false sense of security. Like, not them, the writers, so that they'll come back and do a big thing next week. But here is the order in which things happened for them. They attacked the tag champions. They attacked Oba Femi. That was their debut on the PLE. They did both. Fraxium's a major act for WWE.
Yeah.
Oba Femi is Oba Femi. He's the NXT champion. They took out both of those dudes. They took out Robert Stone, who is the assistant GM basically of NXT. Like,
also, the most recent interviewee of Shawn Ross Sapp. You can check out his interview right here on this channel.
Did Shawn ask him about how what happened? And was he when he was attacked by those guys?
This was recorded before that happened.
It's too bad because I would because I'm assuming he's dead now. That would be really. It was all.
This
of
was
his
an
blood.
interview in memoriam.
That was it was posthumously interviewed. Like that was the thing that it was his blood they used to write "No one is safe." And again, by no one, they meant the assistant GM that night, and then the following week, last week, some beloved mid-carders in the NQCC, and then this week nobody. Did they put in for PTO this week? We have a thing we're gonna do.
Sometimes attacking people is really exhausting.
There's a
week.
They all took a personal day.
They all
took a personal day. You know what I mean? Like,
well, normal world. You know what it is? They're in the parking lot. They're just waiting to jump people in the parking lot.
That new faction was standing in the crowd during the main event. Did you see them? I didn't see them.
No.
I asked people in our Discord, were they on the show? And people said no. Apparently they didn't do a very good job of like pointing out that they were in the crowd.
I mean, if they didn't attack after, what are they doing just hanging out?
I don't know. I mean, but it's okay. So even if they were there, at least they weren't not there at all. But it's still quite you are doing this is not an escalation. You are on a downward slope.
Yeah.
I felt like they would. Mike Shutt found one sleeve standing in the back. So there you go. I don't know. I don't know what.
Good eye, Mike Shutt.
Good eye, Mike Shutt.
I wonder if next week's show opens with last week after the show.
Maybe.
Blah, blah,
Maybe
blah.
they will. Yeah. I just thought we were gonna get like another little thing of some other beloved mid-carders who were taken out backstage. Oh, you know what they would have been interesting? I don't know if I would have bought it necessarily, but remember how Hank and Tank and Team Double Vest were brawling to the back? They were fighting each other.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went to commercial. After commercial, it's all 4 dudes laid out, and they didn't all do this to each other, and then the winning team fell asleep. Like, it's these 4 dudes standing over them. That these are 4 big brawling dudes who are fighting each other, and then these 4 guys took them out. Like, just if you're gonna do this with them, I would say
you have to do it. Like, you have to be full on.
I would say don't do this with them. Have a some kind of manifesto. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Why are you here? What do you hope to gain? Who are any of you, literally? You know what I mean? I feel like we should know that by now. Vengeance Day was 3 weeks ago. We should know by now who the hell they are.
In their defense, this company not great at investigations. It took them forever to find out who attacked. We still don't even truly know who took out Jada.
Trademarked the name The Culling.
That feels more like Shawn Spears' group, though, right?
That feels way more spooky or culty than two rookies, a bookworm, and a guy who doesn't know how sleeves work.
I agree, yeah.
It's less wordy. That's better. Culling is less wordy, but it's not necessarily, doesn't really fit their whole deal. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So we got Tony D and Jonathan Spears.
You just read Jonathan.
Of course, that's his name. It's his full name. This is good. It's good until it's not good anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
as so many things are.
As so many things are in WWE. It's good until it's not good anymore. So it's all going fine. It is a perfectly cromulent wrestling match until there's Tony D hits his really cool fisherman's suplex twisty thing to forget about it.
So good. It's such a cool thing.
And Izzy Dame tries to put Shawn Spears' foot on the rope, but Shawn Spears is too far away from the rope. So Izzy's like holding it there an inch and trying to pull his boot off to get it onto the thing, and then just have Shawn kick out. The referee stops it anyway. And then Ange runs up and does a flying threads press off the ring steps onto Izzy Dame. We get Ruca going after Nico Vance. We get Stacks running in and clotheslining Beej over the top rope. And then the referee trying to get Stacks out of the ring. But then Tony D is on the apron. And there's a chair, I guess Shawn Spears' chair that he travels with. It's his emotional support chair. And he left that on the floor at ringside. And Shawn Spears shoves Stacks into Tony D'Angelo standing on the apron, who flings himself off the apron and lands back first on the steel chair, which he's been selling the back the whole time. I'm assuming that would hurt a lot if you have a bad back. So Stacks is immediately like, "Oh crap, I screwed up." And Shawn Spears grabs Tony D, says, "So much for family," and rolls him into the ring. And I'm like, "Oh man, you like dumb, whoopsie daisy shenanigans is how we're going to take the title off the guy who took the title off of Oba Femi? The only dude ever pinned Oba Femi is this guy, and this whoopsie daisy shenanigans is how we're going to do it." And no, he kicked out of the C4. And the camera found Stacks, who looked like, "Oh shit." Not, "Oh thank God, this horrible mistake that I made, maybe it won't actually count against me." But oh shit. So I'm really wondering if the next thing for Tony D is a feud with Stacks. That Stacks is going to try and take over the family, and we're going to break that whole thing up. And maybe Tony D is moving on, doing a different thing, and the rest of the family is just in NXT for a while, or Stacks joins forces with Shawn Spears or whatever, all that stuff. Because even after Tony D kicked out of the C4, the match continues. And instead of just like doing it there where the whole crowd was resigned to the fact that, yes, you did an oopsie daisy shenanigans, but it was some kind of clever way to like make it about Tony D landing on the chair and not necessarily, you know what, there's your storytelling. Like, no, the match continues for another 45 seconds. Yeah. And then he's gonna do the big power bomb, this big spine busty thing. And his back gave out. And he crumbles to the ground. And Spears just lands on top of him and pins him. 1, 2, 3. And the crowd is like, well, what? Is that? Can you do that? Like, they seemed so confused by this ending. They were super excited when he kicked out of the first thing, but like not at all happy. Like, not even like, oh no, like they would have been pissed if he had lost the first time, but the second time they were just confused. And so we get Shawn Spears. He's the new North American champion. He's got a faction of dudes. I think that maybe we figure out a way to like move Tony D onto something else, which might be Stacks, maybe not. But this is a perfect guy. Shawn Spears is a perfect guy to have a short and North American title reign, a transitional reign, to have Ricky Starks get some gold, because he ain't getting the top gold anytime soon. But you put some gold around Ricky Starks' waist, and then after he's the champion, you have a whole litany of dudes who would want to come after him and do stuff. You can do Ethan Page versus him. You can do a lot of stuff. But Ricky Starks beating Shawn Spears at Stand and Deliver makes a lot of sense.
I thought I was going to sneeze. Yeah, and I feel like Ricky Starks can just beat the rest of the faction to get there. And what's kind of cool about that is Ricky is new to the program, but such an established pro wrestler that, like, even with the newer parts of that faction, right, he's going to have a really good match. And I'm sure with our dear Beach, he'll have a great match and then get to Shawn Spears at Stand and Deliver. The cadence of that is nice for a build too. It's just clean and easy. And Shawn Spears and Ricky Saints will have a great match at Stand and Deliver. And I think he should pretty immediately become your North American champion. And I just like the balance of that in the product, because Oba Femi's kind of like a heel tweener and such a different wrestler than like babyface Ricky Starks. Mm-hmm. And they're so different character-wise that the balance that puts into your product is just really refreshing. Like that's really, really cool. Strap up Ricky quickly. He doesn't need to be in NXT all that long, or they could keep him there for a while. We'll see what they choose to do. But that feels like a good rhythm to have your product in. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to that unfolding.
Yeah. Yes. That should be good. So me and Norma sent you a small sack of monies for Kate's whatever tonight. I guess the whatever was your
just
audio.
Overload of that mic and the corresponding setup take up a lot of juice, even on my new computer. So
yeah. Will Chisholm says, take it easy on Ava, guys. She's got to deal with her dad taking souls and her big bro Ricky going to the same college. It's difficult.
It's a lot.
It is difficult.
A lot, yeah.
It's LA Night Live with your host Eli Drake.
Larry Aloysius.
That's good. This is good. CM host Phil Donahue.
CM host.
Trevor Noam Dar.
I miss him so much.
I know, it'd be great for him to come back. Wouldn't that be good? Hold on. Meet Norma says the Daily Big Show.
Very good.
Mari to guest Finn B, you are a bad father.
You are not.
You are not the good father. Wrestling on a PLE, 60 minutes. Dick Van Dam Show. Last Yeet Tonight with Jay Usover. Mike Schutt says Ellen to Generation X. Noam Darsenio Hall. Jay Leno quarter catch crew.
Nice.
Quarter catch crew. Larry King Kong Bundy inside the actor Stu Bennett.
Very nice. Stu Bennett, no joke, would be phenomenal with like an inside the actors gimmick. I feel like
be very good. No,
inside
the wrestler's studio for sure. He'd be great at that. Rafael Garcia says for both Spook Hudson and Jimmy the Anvimil Neidhart. I don't know Anvimil. Anvimil? Anvimil. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Eric Freed says Jerry Springer Lynn and Mari Ronaldo.
Well done.
Jambeard saying that we should have the Meta Girls go, or the Influence Girls, or Team Zolta go after the TNA Knockout Women's Tag Titles, Ascend Deliver. Not a bad shot.
Not a bad idea. They should also put the TikTok tag team doing something. I was thinking about that the other day.
Please do something.
Yeah, put them on that show. My God.
Please do something. Tom LaValle saying the ZSJ wrestled Fuego del Sol at GCW this weekend. I'm really happy for Fuego to get that match.
So that was like a card subject to change situation. And that match, I know I'm like ZSJ gal, but that was the best match I've ever seen Fuego have. It was really, really, really good. ZSJ with luchadors is always such like an interesting pairing, and with the type of luchador Fuego is, that's like even more fun. But considering that was like an on the spot kind of match, really good stuff. Would highly encourage you to check it out.
Yep. Tom LaValle says the way back is live in Constantinople with Bobby Fish, because it has been Istanbul for now 500 years or something. So I think that is very funny.
He was doing late night before TVs were invented.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yep. So yeah, we have some jukeboxes.
Alex, something we haven't had in jukebox history.
Yeah.
I think I have more than you.
I think you do. This
is wild.
Yeah, it is a little wild. Do you want to start out with one?
Sure.
Get out of the way? Okay.
Man, the top one that's in there is pretty great. But you know what? There is a request just for the reporter in the field explaining the John Cena heel turning. Guys, I'm standing here after the Elimination Chamber fallout, and it is pandemonium here in Toronto as John Cena, notable good guy for decades, seems to have kicked Cody Rhodes in the balls. Right in the I'm hearing in the nards, and I'm not sure I'm hearing this right because this part is very odd, but Travis Scott is involved for some reason. That's right. I'm hearing the professional rapper, Travis Scott, has aligned himself with The Rock and apparently John Cena, who was given a signal with fingers and what are these? A little slit to the throat. And John Cena is now a bad man, as he sang on a highly acclaimed rap album many years ago. Witnesses to the event say that it will be played in video packages all week for several years to come, even after John Cena is retired, probably 5 times an episode. You'll also get to see reactions to it edited into these video packages 5 times an episode. Many are saying, "Are you serious, bro?" And others are saying, "What?" More to come this week, over and over and over again. Back to you. Thank you so much.
That was very good.
Thank you.
That was very, very good. Okay. Well, somebody wants Gunther to do "Oops." See, Jambeard wants Gunther to sing "Oops, Oh My" by Tweet, featuring Missy Elliott. I'm not at all familiar with this particular one, but I wonder if Gunther is. I'll tell you what I did last night. I came home, say around the 2:45, still so high, hypnotized, in a trance from this body. So buttery brown and tantalizing, you would have thought I needed help from the feeling that I felt. So shook I had to catch my breath. Oops. There goes my shirt above my head. Oh my. Oops. There goes my skirt dropping to my feet. Oh my. Ooh. Some kind of touch caressing my face. Oh my. Ooh. I'm turning red. Who could this be? Yeah.
Huge Missy Elliott fan, that Gunther.
Oh my God. He can sing them all. He knows all the lyrics. Do you want to do another one of yours now? Sure.
This is so odd. I'm honored. I am honored. Let's see what we got here. I'm excited about your Fraxian one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do John Cena doing Bad Bad Man. You done did it now. Chaos. You should have put this one in the vault, man. They're not ready. They don't know what's coming, man. Oh, we're going to drop this on them right here. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready for literally none of this. Here points a bad man, and we're invading the streets. Make unclever rappers scared. Be dropping heat. There's an ad that popped up. Shocked the world. Now I'm standing alone. I flip fools like the clamshell cellular phones. That's a dated reference. You can't help but nod your head on the track. Fuck the watered down rap. We be taking it back. Give it to me straight. Ain't no chasing it. Check yourself in the mirror. Ain't no facing it. There's literally nothing about a next man sweater in this song. I don't like that at all. Yeah.
Yeah. We want Fraxium, the Glory Boys, doing a duality by Slipknot.
A duality duetity.
Duality duetity.
I'm here for that.
I push my fingers into my eyes is the only thing that totally stops the ache. But it's made of all the things I have to take. Jesus, it never ends. He works his way inside if the pain goes on. What is screaming until my veins clear? I wasted my time for life. No one to do with it so much shit. I wish for this or this or that. I was left behind this old fact. You cannot kill what you did not create. I'm so to say what I gotta say, and then I swear I'll go away. But I can't promise you'll enjoy the noise. I guess I'll have to save the best for last. My future seems like one big path. You live with me because you left me no choice. I push my fingers into my eyes. It's the only thing that most slowly stops the ache. If the pain goes on, I'm not going to make it. And Bob's your uncle. Thank you. Okay, that's good. And then, I'll let you do the David Evans one.
Let me find it. Okay, yeah. I say, hey boy, sitting in your tree. Mommy always wants you to come for tea. Don't be shy. Straighten up your tie. Get down from your treehouse sitting in the sky. I want to know just what to do. Is it very big? Is there room in there for two? I got a house with windows and doors. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Gotta let me in. Hey, hey, hey. Let the fun begin. I'm the wolf today. Hey, hey, hey. I'll huff, I'll puff. I'll huff, I'll puff. I'll blow you away. Say you will. Say you won't. Say you'll do what I don't. Say you're true. Say to me. Say la vie. Toodles.
Yes, that's from David Evans. We're assuming this is insert Nixon Newell pun, who says, hi, Alex. Hi, Kate. In honor of Nixon Newell's surprise return to Attack Pro Wrestling this past weekend, which I was fortunate enough to be in attendance for, to see her first matches post. So you deleted it, and I can't read it anymore.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I don't know. It's gone. I don't have it anymore.
There it goes.
Okay. I was forced to be in attendance for her to see her first matches post-release. Please may I have Tiffany doing C'est La Vie by Bewitched. And that was that. That was what that was. So
Toodles
was confused. So all right. Okay. So hold on. So, here it is. It's Bootylicious by Destiny's Child. That's what they used to call me back in the clubs.
They still call you that.
Better move, cause we've arrived. Looking sexy, looking fly. The baddest chick in sight. DJ jam tonight. Spotted me, attend a thing. There you are. Come on, baby. Don't you want to dance with me? Can you handle me? You gotta do much better if you're gonna dance with me tonight. You gotta work your jelly if you're gonna dance with me tonight. Read my lips carefully. If you like what you see, move, groove, prove you can hang with me. By the looks, I got you shook up and scared of me. Buckle your seatbelt, it's time for takeoff. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this, cause my body too bootylicious for you, babe. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this, cause my body too bootylicious for you, babe.
I don't want to say which, but one of your ex-husbands said that you walked so Beyonce could run with this song, which
So
I think is true.
There was a request for me to speak with whoever the Kate Kardashian lady about Rhea and Io from last night. And listen, while I am so happy for Io, I am also devastated for Rhea. She came from so low to come back and get her title, and then she lost it again. And did you see? Have you heard? Did you see the interview they did with her last night backstage? She is just so sad. She's so hard on herself. She blames herself for losing. Did you see?
She was literally so sad about it. She seemed so upset, which is just how I feel when my green juice comes out wrong, and I don't like it at all. It ruins my whole day and my whole life, and it makes me really upset, and it ruins my whole road to WrestleMania. And to you, that might be a joke, but to me, it's so for real right now.
No,
I don't feel like that's fair to Rhea because it was all Bianca's fault.
I can relate, but this is I don't go in for the green juice. However, I feel the same way when I go down to the deli and they slice the pastrami too thick. Because that's
why
the
would
only
they
time,
even do that? Why wouldn't they thin slice it for you?
That is the only time I like my meat thin.
You're literally so bad. Oh my God, Linder, we have to do brunch.
We should. Next time you're in the city, come by.
I never leave LA, but if I do for some reason, I'll come to Queens and I'll order just like beets with a side of more beets and we'll have a delicious meal. Yeah.
We'll have to go down to Beats on Beats. It's a fantastic little salad place.
I've literally heard such great things about it.
But you can't get a table. You just can't. So anyway, that was that. So there's one more for you, and then there's one that we have to end on every night. We always end on that.
Of course.
This is from Jambeard wants Rap God by Eminem to be sung by a particular person.
Oh no. I X'd out the document, but I'm assuming it's the Nia girl.
It is.
Okay. I do like 2 impressions. I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. All the people from the front to the back nod. Now, who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me Rap Bot. But for me to rap like a computer, it must be in my jeans. I got a laptop in my back pocket. My pen will go off when I half cock it. Got a fat knot from the rap profit. Made a living and a killing off of it since Bill Clinton was been in office. With Monica Lewinsky feeling on his nutsack. I'm an MC, still as honest, but as rude as indecent as all hell. Syllables, skillaholic. Kill them all with. Can I do where's this insane part?
The insane part is the entirety of our show. So, okay.
But he has one What do you get? That's too much scrolling, and it gets a little bit offensive. So I'll just say, well, to be truthful, the blueprint, simply rage and youthful exuberance. Everybody loves to root for a nuisance. Hit like Earth, like an asteroid. Did nothing but shoot for the moon since. MCs get taken to school with this music. Can I use it as a vehicle to bust the rhymes? Now I lead a new school full of students. Me? I'm beginning to feel like a rap god. Yeah.
C. Delgado says Ricky St. Lake Show and
Very
Midnight
nice.
Special Express. Meat Normus clarifying, I thought the Linder liked thick meat. Hashtag meat for 9. I believe the only time she doesn't like her meat thick is when it is pastrami.
When it's pastrami.
On rye.
She was very clear about this, Meat Normus.
Yeah,
Keep up.
That's fine. So Tom LaValle says, I need to hear Dr. Zayas from Planet of the Apes musical. Pick whichever voices you like. Sure. So here, this is it. What we're doing here, though. Okay, so here we go. So help me, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas. What's wrong with me? I think you're crazy. I wanted a second opinion, baby. You're also lazy. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas. Can I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before, baby. If you will. That's hard times. That's the end of the song. And I believe that's the end of the show. That's it. We got nothing else. We got nothing else to do.
It always stops me when I look up and there's like 8,000 people watching and we're doing the most insane part of what we do. It's beautiful.
If they didn't like it, they would leave. That's why I gotta say. That's it.
It's so true. I didn't even know this Zayas got a PhD.
He went to get his PhD, much like Moose went and got his PhD in ring psychology. Also, Dr. Zayas got his PhD in whatever Dr. Zayas is a doctor of.
Zayology.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. Doctor of Zayology.
That's what's up.
That's it. All right, well, we're done here. So we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Keep cool, gabagoos.
Yeah.
That's my line. Keep cool, gabagoos.
Stay classy.